And so a great way you can use Bright Investor is to use these property reports, use these market reports, and be able to go to your client and say, hey, I know I'm just checking in with you. You're on my email list. I want to give you some value. Here's a report really quickly about what's going on around your area. And as you can see, took me a couple minutes to put this together for you, but I think you're worth it. And I want to make sure you know exactly what's going on so you can get your best transaction possible. When prices are up right now and transactions are down, I think we're in a really good position to get your house marketed super effectively at top dollar.
Let's face it, researching in real estate is time consuming and tedious. Whether you're analyzing a market for a buyer, running numbers for an investor, pulling comps for a seller, or trying to pull all the data required for prospecting off-market deals, you end up having 75 tabs open, a million logins, different spreadsheets, and every single website is asking you to enter credit card information and upsell you. Well, not anymore. Today's guest solves all of those problems and more through his app, Bright Investor. I met Donato Callahan during Bigger Pockets in 2023 when there was a military breakout session. And check out how impressive this guy and the app is. He's a high school valedictorian. He graduated magna cum laude from Boise State. He went on to become a geospatial analyst for the Department of Defense, building maps. And then during the COVID lockdown, that's when he discovered real estate investing. And within 4 years, he purchased 400 units of residential and commercial real estate by the age of 23. And then he's a co-founder of Bright Investor with Drew McCluskey. And that Bright Investor is a company that helps investors, wholesalers, real estate agents get more buyer clients and seller clients. Let's bring him on. Welcome to the Agent Goldmine, the only podcast in the world specifically for real estate agents who are stuck at 5 transactions a year to help them get to 20 plus. Your hosts, Ali Garced and Shelby Johnson, 2 EXP Icon agents, each do over 40 transactions a year and interview others who are crushing it. In this podcast, you'll receive the knowledge to help you scale your business using systems and processes with our interviews and monologues twice a week. If you want to be a part of our community, reach out. Welcome to the show. Donato, for real estate agents, what is Bright Investor?
It's the solution you need to stand out at a time when transactions are low, competition is high, and you need some closings.
Perfectly put. Damn. Bye. Good podcast.
There it is. See you guys later.
All right, let's dig it. Which section of that should we dig into first?
Oh, we could talk a little bit about why am I even here? What does this guy know about real estate? I shaved yesterday and I look like I'm back in middle school right now. So you might need to talk a little bit about why it is that I'm here today. So I'm a real estate investor and I'm in the real estate game. It started with buying my own house hack when I was first getting into the game and quickly transitioned to doing large commercial apartment buildings. So I just did a 200 unit 3 weeks ago in San Antonio, Texas. And it's been awesome. And throughout the whole time, I've been working with agents and lenders and investors and consumers who need to go out and they need to buy property. They're looking to find the best location for themselves. And they're trying to do it in an easier and faster way. And that is what led me to create Bright Investor, the best platform to do those things really, really quickly. And that's how I'm here today to talk a little bit about how it all comes together to make investors and agents more successful.
Okay, sweet. So Bright Investor is an app, right?
Absolutely. Yes. It is a web app. You log in and you put in your credentials and you get the whole thing open to you.
Heck yeah. So as soon as you log in, and for those that are watching on YouTube, Donato is going to share a screen, but for those that aren't watching, we'll be as vocal as we can. Bright Investor has a ton of information on there. So how can it best help? Let's start with buyer's agents. How can it best help a buyer's agent?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're a buyer's agent, right, you are someone that needs to be able to showcase to your buyers, especially in light with, NAR and all these things are going on. Buyers are looking for their agents to showcase value. And clients want full service, but they don't want to have to necessarily go through a bunch of work to get it. And so you as an agent, you need to provide more service than ever to prove your value. And you need to be able to do it quickly, because when it comes to buyers agents, it's about how many leads are you getting through your system and how quickly can you qualify them and get them the answers you need. And so with Bright Investor, an agent can log into Bright Investor, type in a property's address, and in seconds get a full property report to be able to send to any one of their leads. So all of a sudden, your client comes to you and says, "Hey, I saw this property online. I'm interested in this one. Can you tell me a little bit about it?" Within 3 seconds, you've got a full report telling them what the property is doing, what it would rent for potentially, what the market's doing around it, everything they need to know to make an informed decision really quickly. And it looks pretty. So you're giving them pretty information that you don't have to be a data scientist to actually understand. Now you're the person that's giving them all the access, deal after deal after deal, in order to help win that business. And then when you're looking out to work with more clients, all of a sudden you have someone that you might want to be able to sell their house. You're thinking, hey, I'm thinking you're the kind of person that might be interested in this kind of property. Let me go ahead and send you this report on what I think you could sell for and what the market's doing around that shows you it's a good time to be buying right now. Don't have to believe me. I'm here to help give you the support and the service. Let's look at the data and then get you your desired outcome.
So it sounds like Bright Investor is a way that consolidates a bunch of the bouncing around that we used to do to find, okay, what do we think it would rent for on this website? Or what does the market look like? Or what are taxes? Or whatever the case may be. It sounds like it's a way that it really consolidates all of those different sources into one and does the legwork for you. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes. So I'm talking about you're looking at a certain area and you're wondering, well, what's the appreciation rate in this area? I can go back and show you how home prices have gone up every single month. So it's not, in the future, this property may make money. It's look at how much value this home's gone up over the last couple of years, last few months. If you want to buy, you need to buy in now. And if you're trying to sell, look at this. It's the best time to sell possibly. And then we pair that with things like crime data. I think we all remember when Trulia had those crime heat maps on their website and everyone was, foaming at the mouth to get crime information. But we have over 800 partnerships with police districts across the country to give real-time crime heat maps on the ground, street by street. So your investor wants to know, your client wants to know, your seller wants to know, hey, what's going on in this area? What should I expect? You know, street by street, exactly what's going on without ever having to get in your car and go driving. And then you finally pair that up with what rents are doing, what the income is like nearby, and then what properties are selling for nearby. And it turns potentially hours of research of going to websites, putting it into an email, sending it off to your client. And then they said, great, now do it for this property. And you go, oh my gosh, I just did this. It turns into seconds and seconds. And you're the person that can just churn out answers, which makes you the go-to person for everyone in your market.
Could you, by chance, if you know off the top of your head, like some of the different sites that you have pulled together into this one app? Maybe it's not sites, maybe it's because you just mentioned crime data. I think that's like a really good one that maybe having listened to the beginning, I wouldn't have immediately thought of. So what are the data points really that are compiled into this app?
Absolutely. So we start off with things like the US Census, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and then we go into lots of sites like Rentometer or Mashvisor or Rentcast, and our partners over at Great Schools for local school rankings, and our folks over at Google to look at local businesses and what franchises are nearby. Because if I'm going to buy a house, it's going to be close to a Starbucks, right? It's going to happen. And so looking at things
or
like
Chick-fil-A.
Or Chick-fil-A, we have that on there. We have Chick-fil-A, Trader Joe's, and Whole Foods, and Target. Because a lot of buyers say, I want to make sure that I can walk to those things. And so I'll go on to Bright Investor and say, great, here's your local Trader Joe's, Chick-fil-A, and Starbucks. Here's the top ranking schools around this property, right? Here's how the crime looks. You can see it's lower area of crime, actually, and appreciation is going up. If you're interested in this property, here's step-by-step exactly why it makes sense for you. So we do those things, and then we partner with sites like Crimeometer, a bunch of different police districts across the country, and then we even have some private data like from our friends at BuildZoom, which actually gives permit history on a street-by-street basis. You can watch which areas are seeing construction activity and where the path of progress is in a new city to be close to all the hustle and bustle of the new developments going on.
How can Bright Investor best help a listing agent?
Absolutely. So listing agents are expected to be really masters of their market, and you need to be able to stand out as a person to transact with, so that when someone finally says it's time for me to sell, I'm moving, getting a new job, I'm trying to tap my equity, it's time to move, they want to know that you're the person that can get it done on their timeline and at the price that they want. And so a great way you can use Bright Investor is to use these property reports, use these market reports, and be able to go to your client and say, hey, I know I'm just checking in with you. You're on my email list. I want to give you some value. Here's a report really quickly about what's going on around your area. And as you can see, took me a couple minutes to put this together for you, but I think you're worth it. And I want to make sure you know exactly what's going on so you can get your best transaction possible. When prices are up right now and transactions are down, I think we're in a really good position to get your house marketed super effectively at top dollar. I think now's a great time for us to talk about what your goals are for your home and see if I can help you get there. All of that comes together to be able to show how listing agents can really work with their clients and showcase, here's what's going on. Here's how I can help you. Here's what I know in the market. And then as far as a prospecting tool, Bright Investor has access to thousands and thousands of off-market deals. And when I can log into Bright Investor and I can look up any property in the country and click a button and get that seller's phone number and email address directly inside the app, now I want to add them to my list. And then I want to send them a property report saying, hey, I'm a local agent in the area. I think you've got a great asset here. I'd love to get to talk to you. I did some research and I think your property would sell fantastically right now. Let's talk about what you're looking to do and if I can help you get there. So you can prospect, win business, and earn the fact that you are the most reliable, successful person they can work with to transact that property.
And not just with prospecting too, but say you already have the listing and say, which is very, very common, sellers are looking to sell at a price that is kind of just unreasonable, but the agent didn't have enough, I don't know, of a spine to say the house isn't going to sell at that, but we have to obey. Yeah, but we have to obey and say, okay, we can literally use the information from Bright Investor to say the market has spoken. Look at all these things that pretty much justifies why your house isn't worth XYZ.
Yes. And that's the thing, because you're the person saying, look, it's not me telling you this. I am the person that cares enough about what you're trying to do with your home that I want to make sure that you're successful. And the way that I'm going to do that is give you the truth straight up between me and you as your agent. And what I can see here from our platform that we use to help make sure you're successful is that the comps in this area are a little bit higher or a little bit lower than what you're trying to actually transact at. And so if we were going to sell this and we see how long properties are staying on the market right now, I think it's going to take you a little bit longer than you really want to be able to sell this thing. And I think it's not going to be at the price you're quite looking for based on what's happening in the market. So if I want to be successful for you based off the goals you told me, we should be pricing in this range based off the information so that we can actually go ahead and get you that check so you can go do X, Y, Z, whether that's take the vacation, buy the next house, do all that together to make sure that you're successful.
Dude, I'm so excited to get into, what did you call it? Was it a case study? What are we doing? Where we share the screen?
Yeah, we'll do a case study on this.
Absolutely. I want to get in there. I want to see it all.
You want to play with it? Yeah, we can play with it. Absolutely. It's something I'm in there every single day. So I'll go ahead and I will share my screen here. Let me know when you guys are ready. Okay.
Yes.
Welcome to Bright Investor. Perfect. So this is a great example where I can showcase a little bit about all the different things that Bright Investor can help you do. And first off, if you're someone who's, let's say, working with an investor-minded client, because I know in today's market, if you want to get those transactions through, working with repeat buyers or repeat sellers like investors is a great way to boost up your pipeline. And so I find investors all the time who are saying, Donato, where should I be going? Where's that hidden gem market? Which area is the most, the best for me to be investing or taking a look at right now? And so I'll come in here and say, you know what? No problem. Let me just find you the best markets to invest in the state of Texas based on which ones have the fastest population growth. So let's see if I can do that for you. And within a couple seconds, I'll get a nice long report. Boom. Here are the top 15 markets in the entire state of Texas that are growing the fastest. In fact, I can show you one in Irving. Home prices are up approximately 18% over the past few years with a growing job market and a growing population at the same time. And of course, you know what? I want them to be able to remember this when I'm gone. So I give them that nice little report and boom. Market comparison report gets sent to them. They can post it on their fridge and show it to their friends about exactly which areas they might want to be looking to buy a house in.
If you're looking to change brokerages this year so you can increase your business and you want to join us at eXp Realty and would like either myself, Ali Garced, or Shelby Johnson to personally sponsor you in, so that way you have access to 2 icon agents, text the word join to either my number 914-318-4918 or Shelby's number 703-399-4332. If I sponsor you and you have access to the both of us and everything that's 5 Pillars Nation, we have the checklist, the systems, the processes to help you scale your business. And don't take our word for it. We've had agents switch brokerages to join us that were stuck making $300,000 GCI, and they join us so they can scale. So text the word join to those numbers and we'll take the next steps.
Dude, this is so cool and helpful. Oh my God. People ask all the time. They're like, literally, this got asked to me a couple days ago, being like, hey, what's a good market to invest in right now? And I've not been focusing on investing for a while. Yeah. So I was like, dude, I don't fucking know. Literally.
And that's a great part. You don't have to know. I'm going to do it for you. And it's just super easy. And then you can talk about, man, I put together all this research and all this work just for you. And then if they have even more specific information, you know, maybe they care about a specific zip code. Maybe they're like, I live in this zip code in St. Louis. And I want to say, you know what? Why don't I show you what's going around in your market? I'll look it up and then boom, I can showcase exactly what's happening in a specific zip code in a city. And I can compare those side by side. It's just instantly done. And there's the report. Instant.
Hey, Donato.
Yeah.
Can we do the case study in Minnesota? Dude, I was going to ask him about Lexington, so fuck you, Alex, but that's fine.
Fine. Yes, absolutely. Let's take a look, see what's going on in
Minneapolis or St. Paul.
Minneapolis. Okay. Let's check out Minneapolis. All right. So when I'm looking at a brand new area to invest in, or if I'm working with a client, I really want to showcase to them, hey, here's what's going on in the city, okay? So one of the first things I'll do is I'll show them an appreciation map and just say, let's not guess about where home values are right now. Let's just show you where they're at. And we find that a lot of clients, especially home buyers, like visual stuff. And so that's where I get to come here and showcase exactly how home prices have been going up.
It's so pretty.
And where they've been going down. And we track that month by month. So I can showcase to investor, hey, by the way, in the last couple of years, home prices are up about 1.5%, and with a huge jump since the end of 2021. Now, what's really cool, client, is that the zip code you're in, 55432, home prices jumped 40% here in the last couple of years. You have done fantastically with your property, and I think in one of the best areas in Minneapolis, because your home is actually in a part of town that a lot of people want to move to, and it's going to have a lot of demand, which I think is going to really boost our potential on the market when we go to sell. And it's just done for you. Appreciation, easy, done. And then I like to also showcase investors as well, and also clients is, hey, you know, if you're going to look in that area, let's see what's going on, especially on the, buying side. Someone sends you a property, they want to know what's going on there. Okay, well, client, let's go ahead and take a look at that property. You know, around that area, you've got a couple schools that are doing okay. According to our stats over at great schools, you have a couple 2 out of 10s, 3 out of 10s, and some 5 and 6 out of 10s as far as school performance nearby. And I know schools are really important factor for you. So maybe this is an area you want to look further in, because there's some pretty good performing schools nearby, like the School of Engineering Arts over at Olson. And of course, I know how important it is to you to be close to your Starbucks and your Chick-fil-A and your franchises. So if this is the property you're looking at, let's see how close by you're going to be to all the things you like being living nearby. So I'm going to show them, here's how close you are to your local Target. Here's how close you are to your local Starbucks and your Trader Joe's. No Trader Joe's nearby. That might be something they want to look out for. No Whole Foods in the area either, and no Chick-fil-A. So I'm like, you know what? We're not seeing a couple of those franchises that you told me are important to be nearby. And here's how the schools are in the area. So we layer those things together. If this is the property that you're really interested in, here are the schools that are going to be near to you. And here's how close you're going to be to those businesses that you love going to every morning on your way to work.
It is so pretty too. I love that all the information is there, but it also is displayed in this way that I can easily interpret what it means. I'm not like, what the fuck am I looking at? And actually asking. So at the bottom where it says add as layer, add to PDF, what are those two?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all the things that I'm looking at right now, you know what? I like the franchises right now. I can go through and I can add all of these things as layers. So later on, I can show my client, hey, here's where all the schools are nearby. Here's where all the franchises are nearby. And I can just stack it over and over and over again with things like crime and schools and businesses and income to point the perfect picture of this property doesn't just meet one of your criteria. I can visually show you how it meets A, B, C, and D and show and really stack all the perfect things that make your perfect home. That's what layers does. And then PDF does exactly what it sounds like. You can basically take screenshots of what you have on your map and creates downloadable PDFs that you can send to your clients in seconds.
And this is on your web browser right now, but Ali said earlier, this is an app too, right? On your phone?
So it's a web app currently.
Oh,
and actually in the next couple months, we are planning to release our mobile version. So you'll be able to access this on the go from your phone. It's on the pathway, and we're working on a lot of fun stuff right now, but it is coming to mobile. So you'll be able to do this all on the go. And then for prospecting, go ahead. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Oh, I was just going to say no, you're totally fine. Until this becomes a mobile app, all agents need to do, especially if they're with EXP, is just go on BombBomb. Like record yourself, like showing that you are working for the client, saying, "Hey, I know that you want to be within 1 mile of a Whole Foods or in this school district, whatever it is," and then you can show exactly what the properties are that are popping up on and off market. Since all agents, what a good proposition to say, "I have off market properties," because you now have access to off market with this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even right here at Bright Investor, let's say, you know what? I know you're looking for something off market. Let's look for something in your price range of between $300,000 and $200,000 in this area. I know you got the two little ones, so you wanted the 3 bedrooms and at least 2 bathrooms because I don't want to share. I know you don't want to share those bathrooms. So let's go ahead and get you at least 2 bathrooms and 2 stories. And let's see what kind of properties are available in the area. And we'll let it search a few seconds. And you know what? We've got 349 properties that meet your criteria nearby. I think let's go ahead and try and whittle that down so we're not making all these phone calls. And I'm going to try to get you the best deal that I possibly can. So why don't we try to look for a seller that might be motivated? Let's say someone that maybe has a lot of equity, they've owned it for a while, and maybe they don't live there. So they're absentee owner who maybe lives out of state, so they might be more willing to sell. Let's look for those properties. And right here, I've got 4 properties that meet your criteria with potentially motivated sellers that are also nearby the schools and the franchises that you want. In fact, I got 3 properties right down the street from your Starbucks. Can I get a heck yeah?
Heck yeah. Okay, question.
Heck yeah.
With those 4 that are right there, can you click on that? Or do they expand? Like you just call?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
The fun
I've got
continues.
information. It continues. And so I've got my estimated value information. I can get my estimated mortgage calculated, what it's going to cost you today, what the property sold for in the past, previous tax information and history, and what the property's seller, some of the motivations why they might be looking to sell. And then as you can see with the property reports that are releasing any day now, what's coming is you're soon to be able to look at things like this, as I'm showcasing the brand new behind the scenes look at what's coming to Bright Investor. While I showcase what this looks like, you will soon be able to do this is the property report we're talking about. So you click a button on that screen I was just on, right? You say get report, and it instantly sends you a link for a report that gives you a photo of the property, the listing description if it's on market, information about the tax history, the loan, the property's features, all the insights about how much the property's worth. And agent's favorite, all the instant sale comps ready to go. And what you get to do as the agent say, hey, look, I'm going to show you all the comps that are nearby. I'm going to turn off the ones that don't work for what we're trying to buy here and show you exactly what this property is worth overall and on a price per square foot basis. Here's what this property is worth right now. And I think we can get a little bit higher based on how we saw the appreciation was performing in this zip code. After that, the report's going to give you that instant rent comps. So you know what? Right now, people don't want to give up low interest rates, and we think rates are going to come down in the future. there might be a time when you want to buy this house and you want to buy another one, but you don't want to give up that low rate or that great location. That's why I went ahead and pulled what this property could rent for, because we know what the mortgage is going to be. Right now, you could rent that property for $2,300 a month, which means you can go buy that next one, and this one's going to cash flow $200 a month. That's a free property for you. And I wanted to pull this information so you knew exactly what you were buying into, not just as an asset for your home and for your family, but as an investment for the future too. And that's why we do it automatic. And yes, automatic analyzer. So this will go through, and without having to type in a single button into any text box, right? Your client can see exactly how this property would perform as both an owner occupied situation and as an investment right before it pulls the market research. So you can say, you know what, median home prices are up right now and the price per square foot is up and new listings are down. We should absolutely sell right now to get you best dollar possible. But
Yes. Okay. So we generate this report. If you can, I don't even have words. I want to know how the phone number. So once we have a property that we're interested in and we see the address, we see the mailing address, but we want to call them. Where do we find the phone number? And do we have to skip trace, or is it already done?
Right here, for any property you look up, Right Investor is going to include skip tracing for you in the app. So you look up any property, whether it's owned by a person or even a corporation, and we're going to include, I think, anywhere between 100 and 200 free skip traces a month. You click this button, phone number, email address automatically generates for you right here. And we're using the same skip tracer that the guys who are doing thousands of transactions a year are doing. And we're partnering with them to bring you that information without having to go to another app. And so then for agents, I know what you're thinking, right? Hey, this is great information, but I don't necessarily need my seller or my buyer to have the owner's phone number or email address. I have someone I want to sell this to, but there's some parts of this that I need to be able to kind of strike out because that's not really pertinent to the transaction that I'm dealing with. And I completely understand. And that's why every part of this report that we're generating for your client is toggable. So you can go through and say, you know what, I'm going to pull back the owner's information. I'm going to pull back the listing agent information. I'm going to pull back the loan information. And I'm going to send a full report catered to your client's specific needs with just the information you need them to see. Okay, I'll finish this thing to showcase how this works. Because then, you guys, a good agent's going to have a lot of clients, right? People are hitting you up on social media saying, hey, I'm looking to buy a house. You have folks coming in from your lead generators. You have people who are looking to just get an idea of what their home might be worth. You have a lot of people putting demands on your time. And so it's not just enough to be able to get the information. You have to get it now. And you have to be able to do it in a way that keeps you organized. So every report you create in Bright Investor is saved to your account. No matter what you do, any report is instantly saved, and you can copy that link and send it to whoever you want from now to the end of time. So we keep all those files organized for you with shareable links to send out whenever you need. 3 months from now, someone says, hey, can you send me that report again? No problem, it's right here. Can you send me that comp report again? No problem, it's right here. And it lives all for you in one place. All right, I'm going to I'll stop sharing my screen here and come back.
No, it is so fucking good. And that's one of the things too, where it's like, when you hear, I have another app for this or whatever, you're like, God, everyone has an app for everything. But this really pulls together so many different pieces of the puzzle that truly take up so much time to do them individually. It's incredible. Mm-hmm. And I think, especially since Allie and I both have the investor background, like investors first, I think we see the value in it like more than ever because we know the struggle of pulling all of that individual information. Mm-hmm. Like we know it in our souls, and it's very fucking painful to do. So this is amazing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And that's why we've seen it already start working for agents. I have a guy down in Florida, and he had 3 listings that he had to sell. He needed to get those transactions done. All of his buyers had never transacted in that neighborhood before. And so what he did was go on to Bright Investor and show them how good of an area it was that they never invested in before, never transacted in. And he sold 3 listings in a couple of weeks, all to the same buyer, based off what he was able to show them with Bright Investor. So it's not just a time saver, it's a money maker. You're expanding your buyer pool, you're expanding your selling pool, and you're able to unlock parts of the market in properties that you never would have been able to without it taking any more of your time to do it. Full service with none of the actual labor that it takes to provide the full service. And with Bright Investor being nationwide, it's transferable. You can help a client that is in another state that's moving to your city. You can help your client who's selling their house moving to their next city. It makes the entire country your playground for real estate. No matter who your client is, you can serve them.
If you're looking to change brokerages this year so you can increase your business and you want to join us at eXp Realty and would like either myself, Ali Garced, or Shelby Johnson to personally sponsor you in, so that way you have access to 2 icon agents, text the word join to either my number, 914-318-4918, or Shelby's number, 703-399-4332. If I sponsor you and you have access to the both of us and everything that's 5 Pillars Nation, we have the checklist, the systems, the processes to help you scale your business. And don't take our word for it. We've had agents switch brokerages to join us that were stuck making $300,000 GCI, and they join us so they can scale. So text the word join to those numbers and we'll take the next steps.
Okay, I might have missed this, but does this also include like calculators? This may be too far, but on Bigger Pockets, how they have the flip and the, turnkey, all those?
Yes.
Too
The
far?
answer to that is yes, of course. Of course it does.
Oh my
So
fucking God.
so I'll share my screen again and to kind of highlight that. And to be clear, the only reason that I'm able to say yes to all these things is because I have dozens of agents that I work with before I came on to this presentation talking about what does Bright Investor need? What do you guys hate having to use? Tell me every single app that you've been forced to use for 20 years that looks awful, you can't understand, and has horrible graphics and interface. And you guys, to your credit, are awesome at telling me exactly what you want and what you don't want. And so it just makes my job super easy. So when you guys say, I want calculators, I can go, great. You know what? Here's a calculator that is instantly done for you and your client based on if they want it to be a long-term rental, based on if they want it to be a short-term rental, a fix and flip. It's all done for you. And it's done automatically, which means we use an algorithm to automatically fill these boxes. So you don't have to type in a single number if you don't want to. So it's truly the one place to go.
At a time, this is perfect for any time, but especially right now with the NAR lawsuits and agents are a little bit more scared now to handle buyers because what if the buyers can't afford my compensation? So let me turn more to listings and be a listing agent. Like this helps for both sides. But if you want to make that switch, if you've been a buyer's agent, you're a little bit nervous and you want to do more listings now, here you go. Here you go with like off-market properties that you can just call, mail, door knock, hire others to drive for dollars, or you drive for dollars, look up a property and everything is right there. Do you want to buy it? Do you want to list it? Let's talk about the best part of all of this, which is the price.
Okay, yes. So we talked a lot about, and it does this, and it does this. This is usually the time when people ask, well, does it cook my meals for me too and mow my lawn? I just say, no, it doesn't. It doesn't do that. Okay. So Bright Investor is a combination of all these different platforms, plus more, plus the time saving, plus the CMA, plus the market analysis, plus the on market and the off market and the calculators and the comps and the skip tracing, right? And it's an absolute steal for nationwide access at $99 a month. And for agent teams, it gets better because I can offer great bulk float programs. So if you're an agent who has an awesome team or an MLS that's tech forward or a brokerage house that you think would be greatly benefiting from this, I can get fantastic pricing that turns it down to even just tens of dollars a month for awesome groups.
By comparison, do you know Price Labs? Do you know how much that is alone a month? I feel like it's about the same.
How much is Price Labs? How much is Price Labs a month?
Because Rentometer is like $30 a month, and that obviously just gets the just rent, like no crime, no data, no anything else. I'm pretty sure. And then one time I upgraded to Price Labs, and I was like, this is so overwhelming. I can't use it. Plus, it's more expensive. And I think it was about the same thing. So, and that's just to see how much you should rent it out for. That doesn't even include should you buy it? What are the calculators? Like anything else?
So that's what I think is so wild. Like you're getting a price of one thing, but that covers, I can't even use words. I can't use words today. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we did the math. If you wanted to get all the information, actually, when you need the information, because your clients need the information, for you as an agent to have access to all of these things from the top providers, it would cost you about $4,500 a month. Face off just the raw information from Bright Investor. Not to mention, you still have 30 different logins, 30 different passwords, and 30 different websites you're bouncing between. And with none of the actual
And they don't talk to each other. Yeah,
don't talk to each other. Absolutely. And there's no map. It's not pretty. And clients, it's true, right? Clients want pretty. They want things that are easy to see and easy to understand. Yes, red, no, green, go. Yes, I understand that. Let's keep going. Let's go get pre-approved. It just makes sense. And so that's why we're trying to put it all together in that thing that's just, it's really, again, it's the time saver and money maker. It's the no-brainer for real estate agents going into the future that need to be able to showcase how badass you are, because you are. And I want the tech to be able to boost up who you are as a person and the dedication you have to your clients. So it's an absolute no-brainer that you're the person they should be working with.
Okay, what else? What did we not cover that you think is important for our listeners to hear?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think that what's important that we need to cover a little bit today is the fact that those folks who are thinking that the old ways of real estate and the ways things have been done for the past 5 years or 10 years are still going to work need a reality check. Clients and homeowners and sellers are really demanding more than ever before, having their hand held, having you work through the process, and knowing that you care about what's working for them and their goals. So it's not enough to just, open up an open house and, submit a couple offers on their behalf. And it's not enough to be able to compete with the agents out there that are going the extra mile to win that business. So I think it's really important for agents, whether you're investor focused only or only on, consumer owner occupied homes, whether you're a buyer's agent or a listing agent, that you're looking forward to how you can better serve your client while being efficient with your time and your resources. So you're able to grow your business in a way that doesn't actually require you to scale your effort with the scale profits that you can generate. That's what I think it's so important is for people to understand, because there's so many new buyers and sellers out there that you can tap into, which is absolutely critical in today's market right now.
You have developed an app that is going to change the game. And I cannot believe that we're interviewing you like when Bright Investor is still coming out, it's still popping out of the womb right now. It's game changing. So let's head to our wrap up questions. What is, and I know this is a slightly different, you're not a real estate agent, but I'm curious, what is your favorite book or podcast?
Oh man, and I can't say Agent Goldmine. Is something I can't say that, or
that's given. That's given. What's number two?
Okay. Number two. So the books that I really like are Traction by Wickman and Who Not How by Dan Sullivan. It is crazy useful because it's all about, instead of you having to do all the work, what person or what resource can you use that does it for you, right? You don't have to be the person in every single seat. You just need to be the person driving the car. It's okay. So I love that mentality for people who want to grow in our business or grow an organization, is it really ends up allowing you to be better at what you do really well and get rid of the things or delegate the things that you don't. So I love those books. And a podcast that I enjoy pretty often is one, what's the name? I'm trying to think right here. I listen to the Bigger Pockets Rookie podcast pretty frequently, in addition to the Drunk Real Estate Investors with Jay Scott and AJ Osborne and some of those folks as well. And even as someone who's a little bit further along their journey, it's important for me to know what new investors are doing and what they're being told to do, and what people who are getting into real estate or are looking to buy their first house, what are they looking at? What questions do they have? And how can I serve them in this time? Because that's what I really like looking at and also on the other Drunk podcast one is we talk about high level economic trends, where the economy's going. So I can kind of have a anticipation of what's coming down the line.
Those are really mature choices. All of those are really good. And I love traction and who not how. But okay, that did make me think of something with who not how. And this is not one of our wrap up questions, but I'm curious. The amazing app we just looked at, like who the fuck built that? Was it you? Are you the super nerd behind the scenes doing it? Or like, how does that happen?
Yeah. So on my birth certificate, it actually says super nerd right next to, the last name. So the answer is no, I didn't build it. I was a geospatial analyst with the Department of Defense, and I was doing map work for them. And I was buying real estate. And I'm like, what if I just made a real estate map? That sounds neat. Let's see if that works. And so I did, and I built a prototype. And it was a couple months later that one of my co-founder now just finished interning with the Bigger Pockets community, with being Brandon Turner's personal intern. And we got connected on Facebook. Random Facebook comment just said, "Hey, how you doing? You're a ginger. Let's talk." And
I
ended
love
up saying,
Drew.
Drew's great. Drew's fantastic. And so we ended up talking, and I said, "Drew, I've got this thing I'm working on. What do you think?" And I showed him my prototype. And a few minutes later, he says, "Donato, you're not going to believe this. I'm working on the same thing." And he showed me a prototype that he'd been building to answer the exact same problem that I had been trying to do. And so we got together, formed a company, hired developers, designed and tested and talked and interviewed and got feedback from hundreds of people over 2 years period to build what you're seeing today.
Okay, we're like totally off-roading, but I do want to ask a quick question. What is your role in the company and what's Drew's? Because I see Drew's face on Bright Investor as a little pop-up.
Yes. So my role is I'm the CEO and co-founder. So a lot of what I do is on the business side. So I work with our partners, our strategic partners. I work with our agent teams and our educators who want to bring Bright Investor into their ecosystem. I work on the design component of Bright Investor, as well as a lot of the ideation. So, our users need this. So that means I spend hundreds of hours working with investors and agents and clients, learning about what their needs are to be able to craft this into Bright Investor. And then on the finance side, I dive into all the numbers and make sure we're going in the right direction. Drew is our absolute graphic design extraordinaire. He has taken all the jumble up in my brain and turned it into the beautiful, pretty thing that you see today. That's 100% Drew. He designed all of that, and we love him for it. He also works on the customer service side and helps manage our internal development and our marketing teams to make sure we're going in the right direction with all of our leads and generation. So we're at almost a 10-person team now, and I couldn't be happier.
Dude, so cool. And now that Ali and I have both gone off-roading, we're pulling it back in. What events are you going to in the next 12 months, if any?
Ooh, okay. I am planning to go. I might be going to Bigger Pockets conference abroad this October. We'll see if we can get to that one. I might be going to Limitless at the Limitless Expo coming up this year over the summer. And we are going to, there's some capital raising conferences over the summer in Texas that I'll be going to for the syndication space as well. Oh, and I'll be on TV this summer. I forgot about that. I'll be in Columbus, Ohio. There's this entrepreneur game show that gets recorded. It's called Beta Blocks, BETABLOX, Beta Blocks. And it's a game show for entrepreneurs to compete for a cash prize while doing an accelerator to really boost their business. And there's 25,000 applicants and 90 got picked. And so I'm going to compete this June on Bright Investor's behalf. So I'll be there for a week. If you're in Columbus, come say hi.
That's dope. Okay, sweet. And next wrap-up question, how can we help you in your business?
I would say I'm looking to help as many agents and brokerage teams as possible with Bright Investor, with great pricing, even better than the $99 that we just talked about for both programs, and to help understand what your clients need so I can build it. So the best thing that I could possibly get from you guys, besides having an awesome time to come chat with you, is introductions to teams that you think are killing it that could really benefit from this team, and helping get the word out what Bright Investor can do for a whole lot of people. Because I think in a couple of years, it's going to be absolutely integral to any transaction. What's Bright Investor say? Give me the Bright report. And I want as many agents on the forefront of that as possible.
Okay, love that. I've already thought of a couple of people that I'll connect you with after this. Where is the best place for people interested in connecting with you or learning more about your products? Where should they go?
You should go to www.brightinvestor.com. That's our main site, and you can check us out on social media at Bright Investor Official. We post a lot of educational content, and we even host weekly free educational webinars about market research using the tool and how it applies to today's market every Tuesday night. So come on, check us out online or on social media.
Hell yeah. And if you want more of me and Shelby, we are also on the gram. You can hit us up there, The Shelby Show, Allie the Agent, join our community, especially if you're stuck at something like 5 transactions a year. We got you. So check us out, be a bro, and share this show. If you're looking to change brokerages this year so you can increase your business and you want to join us at eXp Realty and would like either myself, Allie Garced, or Shelby Johnson to personally sponsor you in, so that way you have access to 2 icon agents, text the word JOIN to either my number, 914-318-4918, or Shelby's number, 703-399-4332. If I sponsor you and you have access to the both of us and everything that's 5 Pillars Nation, we have the checklist, the systems, the processes to help you scale your business. And don't take our word for it. We've had agents switch brokerages to join us that were stuck making $300,000 GCI, and they join us so they can scale. So text the word JOIN to those numbers and we'll take the next steps.